This is a DDLC fan game that is not affiliated with Team Salvaro. It is designed to be played only after the official game has been completed. You can download the original game at their website. Also, please be advised that this mod has intentionally disturbing content, so discretion is advised. Okay. For a full list of content warnings, see the download notes.txt file that came with the mod. Hello, Yuri. Ew. Okay. Oh my goodness. Right off the bat, it starts heavy. Ew. I mean, hello, Yuri, but what the... Okay, that book is creepy. Not gonna lie. Okay, so hello, everyone. So before I start, I just want to tell you that this mod is made by the Reddit user named Tormuse. So, Sir Tormuse, if you're ever there, hello, I'm about to play your mod. Which, well, it really intrigued me because it's from Yuri's perspective. That's what, like, really got me into, like, you know what, screw it. Where's the download link? Let me play it. I want to see it. So, it's okay that it has disturbing content. I mean, I really want to see how Yuri will be fleshed out here. Especially because, like, Yuri's my... I don't know. I haven't played a handful of Yuri mods. In fact, I think I played the least amount of Yuri mods out of all the girls. 2 of which you can watch over here. So without further ado, let's start DDLC Storm. Oh wait, I forgot to turn down the music. Save ourselves MidBitYT. Act 1. Alright. I wonder how Yuri will flesh out in this one. Especially since we're technically in Yuri's head. It's Tuesday. I sit in my classroom seat, pretending to look over my school notes. It's as hard to focus on the class as it is to focus on as it always is for me. Really, all I can think of is how much I'm looking forward to escaping to my safe haven, the literature club. Well, actually, it's not true to say it's all I'm thinking of. But if I try to list everything I'm thinking of, it could fit a novel. My back is hurting again. I should sit up straighter. Am I spending too much time looking at my notes? Should I look at the teacher more? Should I at least pretend to take notes? I have a pen in my hand, but I'm not doing anything with it. Does it look weird? That ever-present question in my mind. Do I look weird? We're off to a good start, I'd say. It's probably not normal to be wondering about these things. Normal people would probably be thinking of normal things, like the festival coming up next week. I notice that I'm fidgeting with my pen. No, stop that! That looks weird! Don't play with the pen! I grip my nose to try and help me focus. No, I'm gripping my notes too hard. They're crumpling. Don't do that! What's happening? Panic rushes through me. Did anyone see me do that? I wish people would stop staring at me. I keep catching them when they think I don't see. They must think I'm weird. They must hate me. That's why they're staring. The storm is rising, filling my mind with its intensity, making me anxious, making it harder to control my breathing. I have to act normal. I have to act normal. Don't act weird, act normal. I know I should stop thinking about it, but I can't. I wish I could just shut off my brain. As casually as possible, I reach down from my bag on the floor next to my seat. Cautiously open it, being careful to make sure no one can see me, what I'm looking at. No one can see what I'm looking at. Somehow my knife. Seeing my knife in there helps me breathe a little more easily. I brought the green one today, the color of nature, of peace, of serenity. Take a moment to admire the leafy pattern on the handle. It's so pretty. The sight of it is so soothing. Fleeting tool to help calm the storm going on in my mind. Oh my goodness. Okay, for an introduction. Oh my, I am excited on how this will play out. I close my bag and turn back to my notes again. I don't even know why I find it so calming. Somehow it just feels right to have it with me. I have a fleeting notion that it's because I don't want to feel alone. But that's ridiculous. It's a knife, an inanimate object. It's not a companion by any description. I may not know what normal is, but that thought was definitely weird. Can people tell that when I'm thinking weird things? I hope not, but how would I know? I don't know. I should stop thinking about it, or I'll make myself anxious again. I just want this day to be over. Finally, the bell rings. I hastily gather my things, eager to be on my way. I'd be more comfortable if there were fewer people, but it feels nice to finally be on the move. Sometimes sitting still for so long really gets to me. I briskly make my way to the club room. Aww. Seeing you face the screen again, considering I played Blue Skies for a long time, it's gonna take a while to get used to you facing me again, Monica. But hello! The first thing I see is Monica's face, smiling, greeting me. Hey Yuri! Ooh. We're focusing on Monica, okay. I wish you could be more like Monica. She always looks so calm and confident. Everyone seems to look up to her. She's like the epitome of normal. If there were someone for me to emulate, it would be her. Wait, did you say something to me? I was so preoccupied I forgot to pay attention. I'm fine, thank you. I hope that was an appropriate response to whatever she just said. I just want to get back to my book. Well, she said hello. So I guess yes, but judging her by her concerned face, I think she is concerned. As I make my way to my seat, I realize too late that Monica looked like she might have wanted to talk to me. I'm probably being rude to her. I don't mean to be. The fact that I can bring myself to talk to her is another reminder that there's something wrong with me. I shouldn't think about that though. It would just make me more anxious. I should make some tea. That always helps to calm me. I look over to my tea set in the closet, but Natsuki's in the way. Hello, Natsuki. She's attending to a tray that's covered by foil. Of course, the cupcakes, the gift for this mysterious guest that Sayori's bringing today. Why does she have to be standing there? Why can't she just finish what she's doing and stand somewhere else? I'm paralyzed with indecision. Should I ask her to move? You should. There's no point in talking to Natsuki. I can't make sense of her. Of all the people I've ever met, she seems the most erratic. She's unpredictable. It's so easy to set off her temper. I find it easier to avoid her. I sometimes wonder if I should try getting to know her. You should. But I have no idea how I would go about it. Anyway, I'd be too scared to do it. She's far too intimidating. I've been standing still for so long, haven't I? I'll just have to do without tea today. I take a seat and pull out my book. I let out a long sigh. The relief I feel is almost instantaneous. When I'm reading, it's like my mind can expand on whatever fantasy world I want it to. It's as if the storm is more spread out, less confined, and doesn't affect me as much. It doesn't even matter if I'm actually focused on the words I'm reading. I just let my mind drift wherever it wants to. It's a remarkably freeing sensation. Words can't express how thankful I am to Monica for starting the club. Of course, I can read at home too, but there's something cathartic about being able to do something I love in such a public place. It makes me feel human. Like even with all the weirdness that keeps popping into my mind, there's still something that connects me with people. I wonder what our new member will be like. All Sayori would say is that her friend is an awesome person who would make an amazing addition to the club. She was very vague with her description. She didn't even give the gender of her guest. It'll probably be another girl, which makes 5 of us. But I find myself wondering, what if it's a boy? That would change the dynamics of the club, wouldn't it? The rules always seem to be different between boys and girls. We're supposed to act differently and be treated differently. I've never understood it. Like everything else in the world, it doesn't make sense to me. I just try my best to play along, because all I know is that it's expected of me. I learned a long time ago the consequences of failing to meet the expectations of normalcy. Suddenly, Sayori energetically bursts through the door. Everyone, the new member is here! Sayori is another mystery altogether. And yet I have a feeling that in a way we might have the most in common. And I guess I could see how, like, among all the girls, you two seem to be, I don't know, like, I can't put my finger in it, but yes, that's true. She always seems to be smiling, but there's something about her smile that's different from everyone else's. And I know what it is. Oh! She knows! Or maybe there's a twist that Sayori isn't actually depressed. But still, oh my goodness. It's an act! I know because I recognize that the effort she puts into it is the same as the effort I put into pretending to be normal. Oh my goodness, she knows! I wonder if she practices in front of a mirror like I do. Oh my, do you get to see how that happens? Every once in a while when she thinks no one is looking, I see her expression slip. Like a crack in a mask that she's wearing. And I see the pain that she's hiding briefly show through. Still, everyone treats her as if she's happy. Are they just playing along with the act to make her feel better? Or is it possible that they really don't know that she's not happy? I have so many questions, but I don't know who I would ask or how. I sometimes fantasize about having the courage to start a conversation with her. You should! One thing's for sure, she must have a great love for literature. Otherwise, Monica wouldn't have made her president or vice president of the literature club. Is it dark? I find it hard to imagine anyone loving books more than I do. All the answers to the mysteries are there, I just have to read the words. And even if the answers aren't provided directly, it doesn't matter. Because I can just let my imagination walk through all the hidden meanings or just find my own. Being able to let my mind wander freely is indescribably wonderful. Especially after the exhaustion of a long day of keeping it focused while at school. Suddenly my attention is drawn to Sayori's guest. I see a boy walk into the room. Hello, me. As always, I'm instantly curious about his personal story. But I think it's more so than usual this time. Because he looks so timid, so withdrawn. I think I see something of myself in him. I see him mutter something to Sayori. He's nervous. I wonder how our character will act in this one. Something about how soft-spoken he is makes me feel compelled to reach out to him. You should! Before I know it, I'm out of my chair walking toward him, my book forgotten. I think some formal pleasantries would be appropriate. Welcome to the Literature Club. It's a pleasure to meet you. Sayori always says nice things about you. Seriously, you brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere, Sayori. I'm too stunned to even react. How can Natsuki be so rude? What if she scares him away? Ah, Midas. What a nice surprise. Welcome to the club. Oh, Monica knows him? I can't help but feel disappointed. She's so popular. It probably means that any small hope of me getting to know him is gone. Most likely, that's not true. He's visibly stunned by all the attention. I really feel for him. I know what it's like. I wish I could think of what to say. What are you looking at? If you want to say something, say it. Sorry. Oh, wait, I can't help but laugh. Whenever a sprite is very expressive, I can't help but be, I don't know, be amazed, happy, surprised? It's positive, but I just can't describe it. I'm feeling more and more annoyance at Natsuki's behavior. Natsuki. Sayori whispers something in Midas's ear. I hope she's offering some nice kind of assurance that will make him stay. He's the most interesting person I've seen in a long time. Anyway, this is Natsuki, always full of energy. And this is Yuri, the smartest in the club. Don't say things like that. I don't deserve such compliments. Ah, well, it's nice to meet both of you. Oh my goodness. He's very expressive. And it sounds like you already know Monica, is that right? That's right. It's great to see you again, Midas. And it's great to see your signature leaning pose again, Monica. Of all the sprites, this is probably my favorite from the original game. She gives him a lingering smile. My heart sinks, they must know each other very well. You too, Monica. That stammer, that look of uncertainty. I can't help but to feel a flutter of hope. Maybe they aren't that close after all. Come and sit down, Midas. We made a room for you at the table so you can sit next to me or Monica. He's probably gonna sit next to Monica. She's so wonderful. Why wouldn't he, given that choice? I wonder if I'll have another opportunity to talk to him. I'll get the cupcakes. Hey, I made them. I'll get them. Sorry, I get a little too excited. Then how about I make some tea as well? Oh, but then suddenly I realized that this means Natsuki and I are going to the closet at the same time. Being in such close proximity to her makes me feel so nervous. My hands shake as I pick up the kettle while Natsuki picks up the tray with her cupcakes. Our eyes meet. Try to be nice. She gives me a sour look, then continues as if she didn't hear me. Did I say the wrong thing? Is she mad at me? She always seems a little mad. I don't know if I would know the difference. I just don't want to ruin any chance I might have to talk to Midas. I hurry out of the room to fill the kettle with water. It's pleasantly quiet out here. It crosses my mind that I would love some calm. I would love to calm myself by holding my knife for a bit. But it's in my bag in the club room, I can't go back for it. Oh well, the tea should suffice to calm me down. As I heat up the water, I see that everyone has started eating cupcakes without me. Oh no! That's fine, I didn't want one anyway, they're probably too sweet for me. I noticed that Midas chose to sit next to Sayuri. Okay, I kinda expected that he would sit next to Monica? Does this mean he doesn't like Monica after? Why are we thinking like this? Oh my goodness, Yuri. The thought gives me a vaguely happy feeling that makes my hand shake slightly as I pour the tea into the teacups to form my set. I see that Natsuki is talking to Midas, but he's being very dismissive of the conversation. Good! Now's my chance to impress him! Aww! This is a... Yuri, you're... Even if it's kinda dark, but she's kinda happy that we're not paying attention, or not paying that much attention to the others. I find this kinda... strangely sweet from us? Or from Yuri, rather? I march over to the tables where everyone is gathered carrying my tea set, trying to look as confident as possible. I even start to feel a little confident. If neither Monica nor Natsuki impressed Midas, this would be my chance! I proudly present my tea set in the center of the group, next to the cupcakes, which I see are in the shape of cats. You keep a whole tea set in this club room? Midas Dynasty! Aww! This is so adorable from us! I swell with pride. Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? I guess. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Monica, no! Why did you say that? My confidence is shattered. Was I that obvious? Was this a mistake? That's not... I turn away to try to hide how ashamed I feel. I find myself fidgeting with my hair. I'm sure it looks weird, why can't I stop myself? Is Monica trying to sabotage me? She's so popular she could have anyone she wants, why can't she leave Midas for me? She's always seemed so sweet and kind, but now I start to wonder if she secretly hates me as much as everyone else does. Maybe I deserve it. I meant that, you know? I believe you. Well, tea and reading might be a pastime for me, or might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea. He enjoys tea. I'm glad. The relief I feel threatens to overwhelm me. I have to focus on controlling my breathing, to not show any outward sign of anything strange. Act normal, act normal, act normal. Conversation is continuing. I'm vaguely aware that Monica and Midas are still talking to each other. But I've stopped being able to focus on it, because this is more important. I have to show Midas that I can be normal, that I can be worthy of his attention. Yes, I nodded to myself in determination. Wait, I should have been nodding? That might look weird. A wave of panic washes over me, but no one seems to have noticed. I can't let slips like that happen again. I have to act normal. What would a normal person do? I guess they would join the conversation? I suppressed the urge to shudder at the thought. I don't know how to make conversation, but I have to try. Maybe I should try to find out more about him. I wonder if he likes books. I wonder if he likes knives. No, stop! Don't ask about knives! That's weird! Don't even think about them. Just books. Just talk about books. Books are normal. Books are a normal thing to think about. Or to talk about, rather. Just focus on that. Right, everyone? And that kinda shocked me a bit. Where did you glow up? Wait, what was that? Yeah! Are we doing something? We'll do it. Oh! That's interesting. She just says that without even knowing what happened? Okay. You know it. You. I don't think anyone noticed anything strange. There's a pause in the conversation. Now's my chance. So, Midas, what kind of things do you like to read? Well, manga? Oh, I noticed that Natsuki suddenly looks interested. Of course, her love for manga is obvious from her collection she keeps in the clubroom closet. He's probably going to talk to her. He's probably going to like to talk to her more than me. Or like her, rather. I can't hide the disappointment in my voice. Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that can change. Is he saying that he wants to read more books? Of course, that's a silly question. Why else would he be in the literature club? Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. It's such a broad question. I don't know where to start. I find myself idly playing with my teacup as I collect my thoughts. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is such an amazing experience to me. And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. My confidence grows the more I speak. I don't normally get to talk about how much I love books. I can't help feeling like I'm rambling a little, but I plow on anyway. But you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer could be so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. I read a horror book once. Yes, I feel relieved. This is going so well. I can't help but feel a little giddy. I can't help but feel a little giddy. Really? I wouldn't have expected that, Yuri. For someone as gentle as you. Gentle? She must really not be able to see into my head if she thinks I'm gentle. I guess you could say that. But if a story makes me think, or takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. I hate horror. Why is that? Well, never mind. That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? And just like that, the conversation is pulled away from me. I hate this. It always happens when I'm in a group. Conversation moves too fast for me to keep up. Anytime I think of something to say, I take so long to collect my thoughts about how to say it that the conversation moves past it and the moment is lost. There's so much inside my head that I want to get out, that I want to express, but all I can do is just sit here. It's frustrating. How do normal people do it? I usually end up just tuning on the conversation, and leaving in my head instead. I wish you could have the experience of knowing what it's like to connect with someone. I'm not cute! Natsuki's sudden shout snaps me out of my reverie. Natsuki, you write your own poems? Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share it with them sometime? No, you wouldn't like any of them. Not a very confident writer yet. I sigh inwardly. Natsuki is continuing to be rude to Midas, but maybe this is my opportunity to join back in the discussion. I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities, and showing even the deepest stages of your heart. Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example to help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. Panic floods through me. I was speaking rhetorically. I didn't mean I didn't mean I would actually share anything. I'm too focused on trying to stay calm to reply. I guess it's the same for Yuri. Oh, I wanted to read everyone's poems. It's true that sometimes I write my thoughts down, but it's solely for my own benefit. It helps me to understand the inner workings of my own mind, particularly when the storm strikes, when it typically does when I'm in stressful situations. We just try to navigate social gatherings. The storm is nebulous, tempestuous, rarely in control. Capturing it on paper goes a long way toward calming it. But sharing it? I shudder at the thought. What would people think if I showed them what I wrote about, my urges? Or anything else I've written for that matter. I don't want anyone to know how weird the inside of my head is. Okay, I have an idea, everyone. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then, next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way, everyone is even. I don't think that makes things any easier. Yeah, let's do it! Thus, now that we have a new member, I think it will help us all get a little more comfortable with each other and strengthen the bond of the club. Isn't that right, Midas? Hold on, there's still one problem. What's that? I never said I would join this club, and we're so shocked. Sayuri may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at and in an instant all of the expectation and hope that have been building up inside of me is suddenly crushed. The sense of loss might have brought me to tears if I wasn't so used to it. Oh no. But I'm sorry, I thought we could get to know each other, but I could never say that out loud. Midas? You all? Midas is visually troubled. I can see that he's deep in thought. I ache with wonder all over again about what thoughts might be going on in his head. Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the Ledger Club. Confusion of jumbled emotions inside me is indescribable. What's happening? You really did scare me for a moment. I spoke without thinking. It might not be normal to feel scared in a situation like this. It's normal, Yuri. Chill out. Oh, that's so cute! Unfortunately, no one notices because Sayuri has just wrapped her arms around Midas and is jumping up and down. Yes, I'm so happy! Hey! Midas is clearly not enjoying this. A strange thought, though, crosses my mind, that it would bother me more if he did enjoy it. Oh no. Why do I feel that way? Why do I feel good about the fact that he's uncomfortable with Sayuri's contact? Does it make me a bad person that I want him to feel bad? I'm overtaken by guilt. What's wrong with me? Surely if I wanted some kind of connection with him, I should want him to feel good, right? People are still talking, but I don't hear them. I vaguely acknowledge that Monica has declared the club meeting over. I try to occupy myself with putting my tea set away, but the guilt keeps rolling around inside me. Oh, here comes the serious music. I slowly walk home, lost in thought. Well, I'll just have to do something nice for Midas to make up for the hurtful thoughts I had. But what? My mind goes into overdrive, poring over every detail that I can recall about today. I realized that I really didn't learn much about him. There was only one moment where I talked to him for any length of time. I read a horror book once. That's what he said. It gives me an idea. I changed the direction and started walking toward the bookstore. It sounded like he doesn't read much, so I don't know how much he would appreciate a book as a present. But he also said, well, that can change, so maybe it will be okay. And it sounded like he was okay with a horror book, right? In fact, now that I think about it, that was the only thing he responded to when I was talking to him. Yes, the more I think about it, the more I realize that a horror book would be the perfect gift for him. It's either that, and buying him manga, or buying him manga rather, and I have no idea what I would get him in that case. A sudden idea strikes me. I pick up the pace, flooded with excitement. I'm almost running as I enter the bookstore. My heart is racing as I head towards the horror section. It doesn't take me long to find out what I'm looking for. I haven't recognized a bright eye in front of the cover anywhere. After paying for it, I carry it in front of me, admire my new book as I resume walking home. Portrait of Markov. It's my all-time favorite book! I've read it 100 times, I know he'll love it. I start happily skipping and humming to myself on the way home. That would be adorable to see. That's probably a silly and childish thing to do, but right now I don't care. I'm feeling really excited about tomorrow, and it's Midas' delighted reaction. And to see Midas' delighted reaction rather, when I present to him this gift. Oh. They even drew this, oh my goodness. I'm still smiling contently to myself as I enter my room, still fantasizing about discussing the book with Midas after he's finished reading it. I can't wait to share my theories about the third eye with him. That always has been my favorite aspect of the story to speculate about. I set my bag on the floor, still holding my new book in front of me. Out of curiosity, I go into my bookcase and pull out my own copy of the book. I set them down on my bed so I can look at the two of them side by side. They look like a pair of eyes gazing into me. I briefly consider getting another copy so that there will be a third eye. The thought makes me giggle. I think this would be a good time to change out of my uniform. Oh my goodness, I'm loving this! As elegant as it looks, I never liked the way it shows my figure. I might as well put on my pajamas, since I won't be going out again today. As I change, I try to avoid looking at my body, especially my arms. Okay, she started cutting by this time. I try to distract myself by reminiscing about the details of my book. The adventure, the mystery, the bizarre events that shape the characters' lives. And I start myself getting lost in my imagination again. Or find myself lost in my imagination again. He's been captured! His only hope is if I can sneak into the facility and free him. Oh. Oh my goodness. They're really taking into heart the book. I tiptoe around my room imagining that I'm the human experiment prison. Or I'm in the human experiment prison. There he is, tied to the bed! I duck down next to my bookcase. I'll have to choose my moment carefully when they're distracted. I imagine the scientists leaving the room. Now's my chance! I tiptoe up to my bed. And then I say, Midas, it's me, Yuri! I'm here to rescue you. And then he says, I do my best to I do my best to imitate his voice. But you can't rescue me, you're a girl! And then I'll say, I'll do what I want, this is my story now. I chuckle at my little meta-narrative. Besides, you don't want to know what they're going to do to you when they get back. And then he says, but how am I going to get out? And then I say, don't worry, pull out my green knife out of my bag. I'll cut you loose! I pretend to cut the restraints binding Midas. Now come with me, I'll get you out of here. I pretend to sneak out of the facility again. And the two of us escape to safety together. And he returns to me with a look of awe on his face, and then he says, Wow, I guess I underestimated you. You're so clever and brave, Yuri. Will you be my friend? Oh no. I mean, I get the scene is kinda dark considering this is basically what Yuri thinks, and she's enacting it while no one is looking, but this is very sad. Will you be my friend? And then I'll say, Of course, having friends is the best thing in the world. And then he says, Is that true? I never had a friend before. And then I say, Oh no, how awful. Well, you stay with me, Midas, and I'll introduce you to all of my friends. I have lots and lots of them. And then he says, I'm so thankful I met you, Yuri. I was so lonely. And then I say, Well, those days are over, Midas. Now we can be best friends forever. Nobody deserves to be lonely. Nobody. Oh my goodness. The music, what the scene is trying to tell us, I can say I'm loving it. I smile, imagining myself and Midas doing things that normal people do together with their friends. And then I turn to gaze at the books on my bed. I stop smiling. Wouldn't it be weird if I'm giving a brand new book to someone I just met? Oh no! I'm overtaken by panic. I almost ruined everything. I can't even count the number of times I've driven people away from me just trying to be friendly. And the best times they withdrew from me afraid or disgusted, or just uncomfortable. Though more often they prefer to laugh at me or make fun of me. And at the worst times... Oh no. I'm so stupid! This is why I don't have any friends. Whenever I get excited about something, I act without thinking. Tears are forming in my eyes. Why can't I just be normal? Everyone makes it look so easy, like it comes naturally to them. There must be something seriously wrong with me to make me the way I am. I'm only vaguely aware of rolling up my oh no, here we go. I look at the orderly pattern of my marks on my forearm. Don't do it, please! Another sign that there's something wrong with me. Oh no! The text box is red and the music, or rather the heartbeat. The storm is rising, a lifetime of failures rushing through my mind. My breathing becomes more rapid as I bring the blade in contact with my arm. I start sobbing as I allow it to break my skin. Oh no. I'm so stupid, I'm so stupid, I'm so stupid! I watch the blood flow down my wrist just as tears flow down my face. Oh no. Gradually my heart rate and breathing return to normal. I quickly grab tissues from the box on my bedside table and press them against the cut to stop the bleeding. The storm subsides, I can think a little more clearly. Why did I do that? It's been 3 weeks since the last time I cut myself. I was doing so well! Oh, she's trying to stop cutting? Okay. I had been planning to reward myself when I reached the 1 month mark. Now I've ruined it. I'm angry at myself for giving in to my urges. I even feel like I should cut myself again in punishment. And I know that's not a rational thing to do. And I know that it would just make me feel worse in the end. As I look at the knife in my hand, it occurs to me that it's been in my bag all day, so the blade was probably dirty. I shudder at the thought that something so unclean just entered my body. I rush to the bathroom. Hello, Yuri. Or hello, myself. I wash the cut in the sink. It stings when I get soap on it, but I know it will feel better afterward. Aww. Sad Yuri. I see my blood mingled with water go down the drain. I know that any normal person would feel revolted at the thought. I I've been called weird by people at school for my whole life, and I don't even know about this. They'd probably call me a freak if they found out. That's a word I've heard used to describe me before. Oh my goodness. I gaze into my reflection in the mirror. No one could ever like you. Oh no. The truth of it threatens to overwhelm me. It makes me feel so sad that I want to cut myself again. But that's against my rules. I refuse to do it a second time. I shouldn't let my mind go there again. Sometimes the urge comes when I'm feeling sad. Pain feels like a fitting companion to the sadness. Sometimes the urge comes when I'm feeling stressed and my mind is feeling scattered. Pain brings my mind back into focus. Sometimes the urge comes when I'm feeling numb. Pain reminds me that I'm alive, that I'm human, and I can feel things. Sometimes I just feel like I deserve to suffer. I wish I knew how to stop this habit altogether. I do what I can to keep myself away from my knives when I'm feeling depressed, and it helps. But sometimes there are situations like today when it catches me completely off guard. I was feeling happy when I got home. How did it get so wrong? I don't know how to fight it when the urge sneaks up on me so suddenly like this. I guess I shouldn't have allowed myself to think such sad thoughts while I had a knife in my hands. I glanced at the knife. I was sitting seemingly innocently on the edge of the sink, telltale traces of blood visible on the blade. A strange feeling of betrayal crosses my mind. But I know that's irrational too. It's just an inanimate object. It didn't do this to me, I did it to myself. Why do I keep thinking of my knives as if they're people? I try to put it on my mind. From my mind, rather, as I carefully wash the knife off. I wish I could control my impulses better. I wish this was a problem that I could apply my intellect to solve rationally and reasonably and come to a definitive solution. But this feeling is so irrational, it can't be reasoned with, can't be figured out. And after I do it once, it's so easy to spiral out of control and keep doing it. Even now, the sight of the cut is making me feel agitated. But I know I'll feel better once I put the bandage on. I come back to my room and take a bandage out of the box and then... a bandage out of the box from them that's in my bag. I always have bandages with me just in case one of my cuts starts bleeding again while I'm at school. With the cut bandage and my sleeves hiding my arms from view, I actually do feel a little better. And now it's time to put my knife back on the rack with the others. Then returning it to its rightful place on the rack, I let out a sigh as I gaze at my collection. No matter how bad my day is, it always improves my mood to look at my beautiful knives. And now that I'm calmer, I find myself coming back to the problem of what I'm going to do about the book. I can't do anything that will look weird. I can't. I don't want to risk doing anything that will drive Midas away. Should I return the book to the bookstore? I carefully ponder this. No, I still have to make things up for him, and I really want to make him feel welcome to the club. Well, what if I give him my own copy and keep the new one to myself? That could work, couldn't it? Giving him a gift would be less weird if I could claim that it's an old thing that I had lying around my house. At least I think it's less weird. I'm never sure of these things. The only other thing I can do is to... the only thing I could think of to do is to damage the new book so it looks older. But I could never do that. Books deserve to be treated with respect. So I think of giving him my book is the best option. I can't help but feel guilty about it though. I've had this book for so long, it feels like a betrayal to give it up. But that's just nonsense, right? It's an inanimate object, just like my knives. It has no feelings. I step my book into my bag and try not to think about it. Isn't there something else I'm supposed to do? Oh, right. How could I forget? Wait, what are we supposed to do? The poem! Oh yeah, I forgot. I shudder with fear thinking about it. Tomorrow I have to share the poem that I wrote. How can I do such a thing? Everything I've ever written is terribly personal and probably really bizarre in the eyes of normal people. But I find myself thinking about Midas. I have to make him feel welcome. I have to prove to him that I'm someone worth spending time with. I'm not even sure why I feel so strongly about it, but I have the strangest feeling that there's something special about him. It makes me wish more than ever that I was normal so I could have a friend. I pull up my notebook and I sit down at my desk with my pen in hand. I flip through it looking for inspiration, glancing all over my stories with flights of fantasy, some darker than others, looking over all of my attempts to understand the storm in my mind and how it leads to my most secret habits. My first thought is that whatever I write, it has to be something mild, something safe to talk about. I can't let it come anywhere close to the full fury of what's going on in my head. Something accessible to normal people. But I still want to get to know Maida, so it has to be me. I chuckle to myself. Now that I really think about it, it doesn't have to be hard at all. I can just write about my experience about the club today. Something that expresses how much I want to hold on to my sense of comfort. Now I'm being pushed out of it. Once the idea comes to me, I'm able to write it down quickly. I write the title at the top, Ghost Under the Light. Wait, something comes to me. Isn't this the official name of her shirt? Like, from their website? It's a little short, but anything I add to it will seem like an unnecessary padding. Now that that's done, I feel a lot better. I should probably head to bed. I walk over to my bed and see my new book still sitting there. I find myself idly flipping through the pages, reliving the events of the book that I know so well. Something about the smell of the pages is really enticing. I love the smell of new books. I'm feeling inspired. I think I might like to reread it again. I place the book in my bag next to the other one so I can bring it to school tomorrow. It's been quite a day, but now it's time to sleep.